Hello, welcome. This is Business Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studios here in Lagos. I am Frank Omalape. Now, the federal government on Monday has disclosed that 4 hydropower projects with the combined capacity to inject 110 megawatts of electricity that the national grid had been completed. It also announced that 11 other hydropower projects with a total capacity of 3,750 megawatts of electricity have been initiated as work was currently ongoing at the various project sites. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, disclosed this in a document on the infrastructure development by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. And a document which was made available to newsmen, Adamu explained that Nigeria's hydropower potential was 12,220 megawatts, adding that Kainji, Jebba and Shiroro dams account for 1,930 megawatts of this figure. It said, quote, to further boost energy sufficiency in hydropower generation, the ministry has completed an or concession the following: Gurara Hydropower Project, Kaduna State, that's about 30 megawatts, Kashimbila Hydropower Project, 40 megawatts, and Dadinkoa Hydropower Project, which is put at 40 megawatts, respectively. And away from there, now the Central Bank of Nigeria yesterday threatened to withdraw foreign exchange dealership licenses of banks that partner with international money transfer operators to violate a directive that beneficiaries of diaspora remittances should be paid in the currency of their choice. In a bid to boost diaspora remittances, especially through the banking system, the CBN in November 2020 circular to banks had directed that beneficiaries of such remittances should be paid in dollars through the designated banks of their choice. However, the Apex Bank, a circular to banks yesterday, noted that some IMTOs engage in illegal activities through banks in violation of the directive by paying diaspora remittances in Naira. The circular signed by the Director Trade and Exchange Department, Ozo Emena Naji, stated that the attention of the CBN has been drawn to the increase in illegal activities by money transfer operators in Nigeria through banks by terminating payment in Naira contrary to extant regulations. This unwholesome practice has some banks partnering with unlicensed international money transfer operators who disguise the transactions and terminate the same via local interbank transfers. Henceforth, the statement said that any bank found to be aiding or abetting any IMTO or unlicensed operator in this activity would be appropriately sanctioned. And away from there now, the Oyo and Osun Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Services has recovered wraps of illicit drugs worth more than 8 million naira from smugglers. The controller of customs for Oyo and Osun Area Command, Babajide Jayoba, made this known while speaking with newsmen at the headquarters in Ibadan. In his address, the area controller said the successful operations were made possible through synergy with other security agencies.
It is important to also know that the collaborative efforts of sister agencies, such as Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Services, NDLEA, Nigerian Cultural Quarantine Service, Oyo State Operation Bust and Amotekun Corps are also highly appreciated.
And our Christian faithful have been advised to show love to their neighbors, especially in this season of Christmas. General Overseer, Lighthouse Saint Alive Ministry Pastor Iyola Teller gave the advice at the 2022 9 Lessons and Carol of the Church in collaboration with Nigeria's leading business station, iBrandTV, in Lagos. Correspondent Abuja has details now.
Sounds of Joy rent the air with different traditions from the church choir, members of Lighthouse Center Life Ministries, and members of staff of iBrandTV. The church auditorium, beautifully decorated with Christmas colors, was a reflection of the mood for the season and set the tone for the 2022 lessons in the carol of the Lighthouse Center Life Ministries in conjunction with Nigeria's leading business TV station, iBrandTV. Speaking on the theme of the carol and dinner service, Emmanuel, God's Gift to Man, General Overseer of the ministry, Pastor Iola Teller, told the congregation and participants to at all times show love to one another. On his part, host pastor of the church, Olufemi Abuola, also used the opportunity to advise youths to be of good conduct and stay out of social vices.
I'm telling you something very important tonight. I'm telling you that God made women to work for him, to serve him, by pulling the men from their distractions into God's presence. For the men to listen to God, obey God, be like God, attract them to prayer, attract them to the study of the word, attract them to obedience of the Spirit, attract them to fellowship with the Spirit, attract them to worship. But the women chose not to obey and serve God. They chose to work for Satan.
It's a yearly thing for us, and it's always a great time. People come together, celebrate Jesus Christ's birth, and also have good fellowship with one another, fellowshipping, having beautiful hymns and beautiful videos to watch. So it's a great time of fellowship with one another. A lot of work really, but it's always a wonderful time of blessing for all of us.
Some members of the ministry and guests comment on the event.
It means a lot. Christmas is about the birth of Christ coming to the world. That's the redemptive power, and having the redemptive power as believers, we also ought to live like him. A lot of people connote it to love, yes, love, but at the same time, he has come to give us life.
Jesus is life. Jesus is the essence of Christmas. Let's do good, just like Jesus went about doing good, healing the sick. Let's use this period to love people, to serve people, to give out of what we have to other people. Jesus gave his life. Let's give ours to love people.
A time of love, a time when God came, left his divinity. I'm talking about Jesus, and came through humanity to rescue man.
Christmas is about the King coming. It's about the Savior coming, Savior of the world. I want to believe that Nigeria, as a people, we are tenacious people. We should keep hanging there, and we'll put through.
Where you have the chance to sing, reflect on the reason for the season, and that's the person of Jesus, and reflect also on the story of his birth and the story of his love, of God's love to mankind.
The 2022 lessons carol of the Lighthouse Center Life Ministries in conjunction with Nigeria's leading business TV station, iBrandTV, may have come and gone. The experience is for a lifetime. Iboji reporting for iBrandTV.
And on the African scene, Zimbabwe has proposed incentives to accelerate 1,000 megawatts of privately owned solar energy project worth about $1 billion. Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube announced on Monday as the country scrambles to plug an electricity deficit that threatens to compound its economic woes. The southern African country is currently generating about a third of its 2,000 megawatts peak power demand and experiencing up to 18 hours power outages daily after its main Kariba hydropower plant cut electricity generation due to low water levels. The country's aging coal plants are prone to frequent breakdowns, impacting mines, industry, and households. Zimbabwe's drive towards generating 1,100 megawatts from renewable energy sources by 2025 has been slowed by lack of investment by independent power producers, sparked by the country's currency volatility and economic tariffs. And on the international scene, the United States has become a global crude oil exporting power over the last few years, but exports have not exceeded their imports since World War II. That could change next year, according to analysts. Sales of U.S. crude to other nations are now at record at a record of 3.4 million barrels per day, with export of about 3 million barrels per day of refined products like gasoline and diesel fuel. Last month, U.S. government data show net U.S. crude oil import fell to 1.1 million barrels per day, the lowest since record-keeping began in 2001. That is down sharply from 5 years ago when the United States imported more than 7 million barrels per day. Factors changing the equation this year, including sanctions hurting Russia's export of oil and natural gas following its invasion of Ukraine, and Washington's massive release of oil from emergency reserves to combat spiking gasoline prices. Well, that's all we have time for at this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Kumalape. Bye-bye for now.